Well, welcome to another Good e-Reader comparison video. This is Marcus.
And this is Peter.
And today we're going to review the Pocketbook 912, which is the latest generation, versus the Pocketbook 902, which is the previous generation. Now, before we kick things off, the Pocketbook 912 is not available in North America yet. Right now, it's a European exclusive, and there are a fair number of firmware little issues, but these things should be resolved. And in the Pocketbook 912, there is actually a button to automatically update the firmware via Wi-Fi. So Peter's going to show you some of the hardware differentiations between the two models.
All right, well, to start off, just in case this is the answer you are looking for, yes, these devices are exactly the same on the inside. They both have the same processor, they both have the same amount of gigahertz, they both have the same RAM, both have the same storage. Only difference is that this guy has a touchscreen and is actually 25 to 30 grams heavier. That is about it.
Okay, so Peter touched on the hardware. If you're just coming in cold, let me just give you some of the hardware differences here. It's a 9.7-inch e-ink Visplex display, 1200 by 825 pixel resolution, and they both have 150 DPI. The processors on both are 533 megahertz, and you have 256 MB RAM. Internal storage is relegated to 2 gigs, but of course you can expand the memory cards via the micro SD on both devices. And yeah, I mean, they both read a lot of EPUB, PDF, FB2 text documents, as well as JPEG, BMP, PNG, and TIFF for images, and they do music files as well. And so let's take a look at the hardware.
All right, you'll notice that the shells are exactly the same, with some holes drilled out of it for the 912, which is the gray one for this video. You have a wireless connectivity switch, so you can keep the Wi-Fi on or you can turn the Wi-Fi off, and this does allow for you to save a little bit of batteries. They both have power buttons. You'll notice here that there is a stylus for the 912 because, well, it's touchscreen, so you need one. Let's turn it over to the right. Identical pretty much, except for the color. So once again, the gray one here is the 912. You both have zoom up, zoom out, zoom in, volume up, volume down, same as the other one. Turning it over to the bottom, you have stereo speakers, you have micro SD card, micro USB, LED indicator light, 3.5mm headphone jack, and hard reset button.
So it's very actually nice to actually have a line of e-reader devices that actually have 2 speakers. If you compare this versus other devices in 9.7 inches, they don't have 2 speakers, or even the Apple iPad, which is comparable screen size wise to this, it only has 1 speaker. So it's very refreshing to have full audio capabilities in a world of convergence, where we're seeing more and more new e-readers come out that actually do not even have onboard sound anymore. Guilty of this is the Kobo Touch, the Barnes & Noble Simple Touch, and the new $79 Kindle.
Exactly. So because these devices are exactly the same on the inside, we won't show too much of the e-reading experience in terms of which one takes the cake, because, well, they're both eating the same cake. So we're just going to really quickly grab close to a similar book, if we can, out of the preloaded books they have here, and I'm trying to match one up here, but probably spend all day doing this, so let me just grab a couple books here. Robinson Crusoe versus A Fine Lady's Heirs. Let's get that one and this one. All right. So
I got Crusoe and you have a Fine Lady.
I see. This in no way reflects the dominance of the staff of Good e-Reader. But let's just see how these two match up with page turn speeds. I guess we'll just use the physical buttons.
Yeah. Okay. So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me catch up to some pages here.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm on some blank pages, so let me get to some text.
Okay. So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let's try that again.
Let's just try hitting it
You,
and see if it works.
yeah, it's going. All
Okay,
right,
so on
let's
a
do it.
count of three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so pretty similar. The one the differentiation that I did notice between the 912 and the 902, and again, the gray is the 912, the white is the 902, is touchscreen responsiveness. And this is something that you've really noticed when we did our full review of the 912.
Exactly. When you use the touchscreen on this device, the RAM and the processing speed isn't really up to snuff to support such a large touchscreen because they didn't really upgrade any of the RAM processor from this unit to this unit, and this is the newer one right here. So when you're utilizing the buttons, the keys on both of the devices, they're pretty much identical. You know, you can turn pages at the same time. Although when you use the touchscreen, for example, when you're typing things on this one, although it is easier to navigate letter to letter, it is actually a little bit slower and laggy, and you need to kind of let it catch up. Once again, it's a very large touchscreen, so that's just something we have noticed here.
Yeah, I mean, let's tell our listeners and viewers here why you would buy a 9.7-inch screen. What are the main reasons why you would spend $400-500 on this versus spending like 100 or maybe 200 at the most on a 6-inch reader?
Well, with 6-inch readers, they're very similar to most paperback books. They're very tiny, they're very handheld, much like this. They would fit in most people's jacket pockets. Whereas you wouldn't really take this, you wouldn't really take this and read it like a book as much as you would a smaller device. And this is mostly because, and I'll demonstrate on this one, is that as you can see, the education is listed here and it is not, is because Pocketbook is kind of, they're catering more towards people who utilize the bigger screens for PDFs, comic books, newspapers, textbooks, things that require a lot more screen real estate, stuff that you cannot get on a very small device. You'll notice the difference in screen sizes. It's very close to 1.5 times larger. So that is pretty much the main reason why you would go for a 9.7-inch over a 6-inch.
Yeah, all the time people ask us what is the best e-reader for PDFs, newspapers, magazines, comics, technical documents, things that people use for their presentations, and we always have to recommend the large screen devices. Sure, the new Sony PRS T1 has reflow for PDF documents, but you never really get a great PDF experience out of a 6-inch e-reader. Some have a little bit of advantage over others, but as you can see here, this is a newspaper and we have reflow on, and you get like the great experience. And let me see the stylus there for a second. Just to show you what you can do here, you can hit the zoom button and look at all the options that you have for PDFs. Let's just bring this to the camera a little bit so they can see it. You can see a bunch of different reflow options. You have fit width to width. You have like all these like different settings here that allow you to really find the sweet spot. So this is what it looked like by default, and then when you saw the full page, that was with reflow on. So depending on what you're reading, if it's a scanned PDF, if it's a purchased PDF that you copy over to your device using Adobe Digital Editions, you have a lot of versatility, and that's the one really cool thing about Pocketbook. Okay, so you've seen some of the differences. I mean, they really are the same hardware-wise. The big differentiation is it's touchscreen. It has Wi-Fi and the ability to turn it on or off. The web browser, we've shown you it in our full review video of the 912, so I'm not going to rehash anything here. But just to sum it up, it does have HTML5 support, although the firmware on this is a little bit buggy. You don't really get a lot of text and zooming options with EPUB files, but PDF files are perfect. And the web browser really isn't that great, but at least we have a web browser. So final thoughts on the 902 versus the 912.
They're pretty much the same. I do like how the 912 has an on and off switch for the Wi-Fi, so you can always turn it off without navigating through difficult menus and trying to find out how to turn off the connectivity. I like the touchscreen. It's easy to navigate from here to there in the matter of a second, although the touchscreen does kind of drain a lot of its processor and it takes a long time to really use it. It does have a web browser, as Marcus said. It does need some refinement, but honestly, large screen e-readers, you can't get these are good. There's two good examples of what you can get: full newspaper and a zoomed in user manual. You just can't get that on a small screen e-reader. You really can't. So I like both the devices, honestly.
Okay, so again, the 912 is not commercially available in North America yet. It's a European exclusive, and it's not even really seen widespread release there as of yet. But there are rumors that going into 2012, we might see this device hitting the North American shores. So yeah, I mean, I do dig the 912 for all the reasons Peter mentioned. There are some drawbacks, of course, but I think that the pros outweigh the cons. If you're looking for a device to read, newspapers, comics, technical documents, and so on, I really recommend that you go with the Pocketbook line. It's very solid and reliable. They both tap into the bookstore ecosystem. It's called Bookland, and you can purchase books there. They don't really have too much of a selection, but a lot of the books there are free, and you can access them from anywhere in the world. Pocketbook is known for being internationally friendly. You can get your settings and books in a ton of different languages, from Russian to German, Italian, Spain, France, Russian, and so on. So if you live outside North America and you speak a different language, this e-reader is perfect because of its versatility with language support. So this has been a comparison review video of the Pocketbook 912 latest generation versus the 902 previous generation. You can catch all of our other comparison videos on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/goodereader. And for all the latest news, reviews, previews, and everything else, check out our blog at goodereader.com/blog. And for Good E-Reader, my name is Marcus.
And this is Peter.
And everybody take care.